Hello, hello. Sound check, sound check. What's good, Solely Maine? How do I sound? Do we sound okay? Good? Okay, appreciate you. Oh, damn, they're not playing around. They are not playing around. That looks better. That looks better. We started a couple minutes early today. I mean, I don't, it's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. But what's on the table for today before the afternoon session starts? I think it is likely that the market may want to trade lower, but there is some minor differences between the indices today. So, but if I had to say, I would like lower pricing for the indices. We're going to put an alert on the S&P, the micros at least, at 4127. 4127 and a half. I'm going to slap a alert there. And then as well for the Dow's the strongest index today, so I won't be trading that for downside objective. But if we get downside for the Dow, the alert is going to be 33,539. So we'll see. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because what's good, Naruto? Because I posted a reel on my Instagram earlier today, and that was this right here. That was this imbalance right here. I was looking for a short in there on my account. I actually missed it by a point, less than 2 points. So I didn't get in on that, unfortunately. I mean, I recorded it anyway, but unfortunately I was not able to get in on that. So that would have been the play of the day. Down to this low, down to that low, and even the pre-market session low. I mean, that was just beautiful. I mean, that would have been it right there. Done for the day. So to me, the NASDAQ is our weakest index, and that would have been it. I mean, we would have been in there at the high of the day. Close to it. Not the high of the day, but close to it. So, what do we do from here? Well, I mean, if we're going to press buttons, then to me, it would make more sense probably to short NASDAQ, but since that's already like done a lot, I feel like the second best opportunity is going to be here on the S&P. Since Dow is our strongest, we don't want that. NASDAQ's already done a lot. We should have been in there, missed it. So to me, the S&P is what makes the most logical sense for downside. So we do have this imbalance here, and prices reacted off of that during lunch. we're at the start of the afternoon session, and honestly, I think I would have wanted us to trade a little bit higher first. Short-term high here, maybe come up to grab that and then trade lower down below these lows. Like I feel like that would have been something that I would have wanted, and that's what I would have preferred. So again, I think those lows are on the table. Why don't you believe in supply and demand? Because supply and demand doesn't move the market, and it's too ambiguous. It's not accurate. It doesn't have pinpoint precision, and it's what most people study, and it's why most people fail. I don't believe in it. Now, supply and demand in economics is a real thing. That's a real thing. Like when oil went negative, right? And there was a ton of, they overproduced oil by a lot. So since the demand stayed the same or even decreased a little bit because of the lockdowns a few years ago, the supply of oil there was a lot of it. So due to the increase in the supply of oil, but a relatively same or slightly lower demand is what dropped the price. Okay, that's like real. Commodities do have a real supply and demand factor to them. Price action does not. Okay. So that's why. That's like the short, sweet version. Can you guys hear the music? Because I've got Spotify all the way up, but I've got OBS, I've got it turned down. What's good, Allie? And yeah, don't worry, I missed it too. That reel that I posted earlier today of this right here, of that right there, I missed that too. I missed it by under 2 points. I thought we would trade a little bit deeper into that imbalance, and we just didn't get it. So I missed that. And it is what it is. Okay, we can't go back and change it. We just have to accept it for what it is. All right, let's see. Are we back? Mic check, mic check. Fuck, man. What is up with this computer, dude? Try to explain some shit. All right, so for the third time, dude. Supply and demand, okay, is not a real thing in price action, but it is a real thing in the real world. I was talking about PlayStations a minute ago, okay? When PlayStations came out, you know, a year or 2 years ago, whatever it was, the PS5, there was a limited number of PlayStations, but everybody wanted them, right? So the people that got them, that were fortunate enough to get them, they raised the price. You know, they were trying to sell them for $800-900 because that's, you know, that's real world supply and demand. Okay. But supply and demand and price action is garbage. Okay, when you see people draw zones like really like, oh, this is supply up here, like what are you gonna do with that? You're just, what are you supposed to do? Where do you enter? Where's your stop? You know, like what do you do with that? It's just very ambiguous, and it's just very, it's not precise. There's no precision there. And so like that to me is why I don't believe in supply and demand in price action. Only like real world economics there is. Okay, so hopefully you guys got that, because I'm sick of repeating myself. Sick of repeating myself, dude. Anyways, announcements. I'm putting out a video at 4:15 Eastern, so that's in about 4 hours, a little over 4 hours from right now. I read John Maxwell's book, the 16, I don't know what I did with it, the 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. So I did a book review on it, and that's going to be coming out later this afternoon. Today is also the giveaway, so if you guys are ready for that, we can get that done here. We'll get that if we can get over 20 people on, we can get that going. Muted again? Am I muted? Ali says I'm not muted. Oh. Eberneth, you're the one who's muted. Okay. Man, I was just about to kick over this computer. Well, I'll push it over. I was gonna take my owl off of there. I was gonna push this bitch down the stairs. I done upgraded the RAM and everything. I don't know what else to do with it. All right. So again, for those of you that hopped on before I said this, I'm expecting lower pricing for the S&P. I've got an alert down here at 4127 and a half. I think what I would like to see is for us to come up and take this short-term high here. That high doesn't look very distinctive. It doesn't look like it wants to stay that high. So I think we may come in here, get some buyers in, and then rip ass lower. I think that could be on the table for today. So if we get up in there and we just drop lower, I think we could get bearish order flow down to 4127, and then probably below that 4125, maybe 4120, something like that. So that's kind of what I'm anticipating for the S&P. If it was up to me, I would stay in the Nasdaq had we been in up here, like on that reel I posted. Had we been in that, I'd hold for the end of the day, because Nasdaq I think is our weakest index for today. That was our strongest index, so I would, you know, it kind of goes against the rules that I have. I wouldn't want to short the strongest index, which is Dow. So therefore, if we were going to, it would probably be the S&P. So if I was super confident, this would be one of those scenarios where we would short a new high, like the whole your stop loss is my entry idea could be there. So that's kind of what I would want to see. Okay, that's what I'm expecting and anticipating. So we'll see if we get that. And if not, if we just keep trading higher, then I'm wrong and I'm not going to do anything. Okay. Would a distinctive high be one where at balanced price and or one with the wick? Well, like, there's no wicks there. And to me, this high is at a very not like deep level. So like if we did a Gann box, right, or even like a fib, you know, this is 50%. So that to me is like not a strong high. It's not a strong high. Whereas if it comes up, if price comes up into like the 41, 42, 43, 45 maybe, and then dumps lower, like that to me, I think would be a more distinctive high. And then if we get bearish order flow, I think we'd run for 41.25 and something to that effect. If we don't, if we run this high, retrace, and then keep running, then I might be wrong on that. I might be wrong on that. So because we missed the I missed the NASDAQ. So this is kind of like the second chance opportunity for today. The morning NASDAQ was beautiful. That's why I made that reel and posted it. For the afternoon, I think it's going to be the S&P. I think it's going to be the S&P. But we won't know. We got 2 hours and 45 minutes until we'll find out. All right. So didn't take the daily high CFDs. Yes, Ali, you're right. I saw that too before we hopped on here. The DJI did take that daily high, whereas the futures did not. So I do trust DJI, that taking liquidity. So that could be our high of the day, and we may end up trading lower for today. I think so. Even though the futures did not. That's okay. I'll try to explain that more later. I was hoping for a divergence, but they all just dropped. Well, yeah, I think. No, look again. Look again. Go to Sunday's gap. The S&P traded above Friday's high. The Dow definitely traded above Friday's high. Go look at Friday's high on the NASDAQ and look at our current high of the day. So the NASDAQ is the one who did not trade above Sunday's gap. That was your divergence there. That was your divergence there, okay? So again, if we want to take like screenshots just for the sake of, you know, studying purposes, the idea currently right now is something like this. Okay, something to that effect. I'm just going to take a screenshot, and then if we get that later, that'll be a really nice before and after. But that's just, I'm trying to give you my overall thought process, an idea of what I think is going to happen. Okay. Yeah, see, you do, you live and you learn. You live and you learn. All right, so if you guys are ready for the giveaway, let me know by liking the video. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you want to get the giveaway rolling. All right, so what is it going to be? Well, there's going to be 3. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 drawings, and here they are. So the first giveaway is going to be the Daily Stoic book and the Daily Stoic journal. Okay, so it's kind of a 2-in-1. The second giveaway is going to be a leather journal, like the ones I've shown you in the past, like the ones that I use. And the third giveaway is going to be a copy of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Okay, so we'll do 3 giveaways today, and we'll go from there. So are you ready? Are you guys ready? Make sure to smash the like button to let me know. Well, Ali, you don't get a choice, because I'm gonna do the first drawing for number 3, the second drawing for number 2, and the third and final drawing is going to be for the number 1, the 2 books spot. So maybe next time I might make it a choice. I'll do like first winner gets a pick of what they want, and then number 2 gets whatever they want, and then the third person wins and they get like whatever is left. So I'll be excited. I don't know what I'm going to give away for that. I haven't figured that out yet, but since we are on the, you know, kind of this topic of Stoic ideas and Stoic philosophy, that's kind of why I went with that idea. Made you guys comment in the video of your favorite Stoic quotes and stuff like that. Some of you, I think, may have quoted it wrong, or might have been an incomplete quote, but it's okay. It's okay. So we'll do this fast because I do want to watch price action here, but I put all of your names on the spin wheel. So for the third one, okay, for a copy of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius is going to be, there it is, Flavio. I think that's how you say that. There it is. Okay, so copy of Meditations to you. The second one, which is going to be the leather journal. I don't know if there's a sound to this. Maybe you hear just the music. Is going to be Hussein S for the journal. So if that is you, hit me up on Instagram, prove that it's you, and I will get it sent over. Okay, and we'll get it sent over. You have a week, so if you don't get back to me within a week, you ain't getting shit. All right, so for the number one spot for the Daily Stoic book and the Daily Stoic journal goes to, who is that? Andreas. Andreas gets the 2 books. So like I said, message me on Instagram, prove that it's you, and then all I need is your address to get it sent to you. I'll order it on Amazon, but I'll have it shipped over to your address if it is available. Okay, if it is available. If not, we'll have to work something else out. Because I have done a giveaway in the past where it was like from a foreign country, Amazon couldn't get to them. So if Amazon can't get to you, I can't help you, because I'm not gonna spend $100 to send $30 worth of books. Okay, I ain't gonna do it. I mean, I love you guys, but I mean, come on, help me out here. Okay, so it is Andreas for the 2 books, Hassan S for the leather journal, and Flavio for the copy of Meditations. So congrats to you guys for the winners. And I want to also let you guys know this too, and just in case YouTube is watching as well, that the giveaways are for everybody. So it's not exclusive to members. You don't get an extra entry if you're a tier 1 or tier 2 member. It has nothing to do with it. Okay, it was all based on the comments. You know, if you commented, you got a chance, and you can obviously see that everyone in here is someone who commented on that video. Okay, so it's open for everybody, and there's no, you know, like I want to give it all to tier 1 or 2 members. It's not like that. Okay, it's for everybody, right? We want to grow the channel, we want to get more subs, we want to get more viewers, so I make it available to everybody. Okay, and that was awesome. So again, for the winners, message me on Instagram, prove that it's you, and then I'll just need your address or an address that you want to send me where I can send the stuff. Okay, so you have until the end of the week. And if it's not sent by the end of the week, then it has expired. Okay, so, well, I didn't watch the stream, I didn't know. Well, that's whose fault is that? All right, whose fault is that? You got to be here. You got to be here. Okay, so we see the Dow slightly higher, S&P kind of struggling to make a higher high there, and the Nasdaq's not even close. The Nasdaq is still just meandering around these lows, around those lows, and now we've almost created equal highs on the S&P right there too, on a small time frame. Looks like it. This high, 41 and 3/4, 41 and 3/4. So there's equal highs there too. So and look, not that I would trade this, but there's like a small imbalance here. So we'll see if we trade into that and then up above these highs. Little 5-minute imbalance there too. So we'll see if we kind of dip into that and then trade up in here. We will see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, the wheel is just a basic website. I think it's wheelofnames.com, and then you just put the names in here and you just click the button and that's it. So they have like other stuff like random comment pickers and stuff like that, but I don't know. I like spinning the wheel and the little congratulations thing. I don't know. It's kind of cool. So I rock with it. That's probably how we're going to do every giveaway. But I'm not going to make you do shit like tag 3 friends on Instagram. Like, that shit is so cringe to me, and I cannot stand when people tag me in that shit all the time. Funded account this, Christmas dad, New Year. Dude, can y'all please stop tagging me in that shit? Tag someone else. Okay, I don't need none of that shit. So don't stop tagging me, please. I mean, I love you guys, but come on, help me out here. I get enough notifications throughout the day. I don't need more shit. Okay? I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just saying, like, come on, man. Tag your friends. Don't tag me. I mean, I am your friend, but look, just do me a favor, okay? I don't ask for much. I don't ask for much, man. What's also very interesting is if we take we'll put an alert on this, so if we're away, we can be notified about that. If we look at the dollar for a moment, if you want to study some Intermarket, okay, this is a quick lesson time for you. Thursday, March. Okay. Thursday, March 30th. If you look at that low, okay, that was traded into around 9:15, 9:30. Okay. Now the dollar has ripped lower from London, during London. Well, prior to London and during London. Okay. So it came all the way down here and then met that low, right? So watch this. When the dollar came down and off of that low. Again, what time was that? 9:15, 9:30, right? What time was that imbalance here? 9:44. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So that 9:22, 9:30, right? So 9:15, 9:30, okay? When the dollar had taken that low, we see the NASDAQ failing to go higher, because here's that Sunday's gap, Allie, that I told you about. Or it was one of you. Yeah. That Sunday's gap, it wasn't able to get into. Didn't even fill it in. Didn't even go halfway. Barely traded into that. Okay, so NASDAQ was the weakest index. Why do you think I recorded the NASDAQ and I didn't record the others? I mean, come on. There's a method to the madness. There's a method, okay? There's a reasoning for majority of the stuff that I do. Sometimes I get it wrong, yes, but I'm just saying, like, look at that fucking response right there. Come on. Okay? So dollar sweeping Thursday's low and wanting to give a, small reversal to the upside. So strong dollar, weak indices, and you see that it just happens that NASDAQ was our weakest. So boom, that's how you do that. Okay, now it's not always gonna align that way. I mean, I tell you guys, I told you all last week, like, it was difficult and I don't understand it half the fucking time, and I was open about that. And But I told you guys that when it does align like that, that's when it works really well. And so you saw that today. You saw that today. But you would just have to have been looking at it. You've been watching live dollar, or you have been watching the dollar movement correlation to the indices, haven't you? You still believe them? Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it works. It works well. Like today, it worked beautifully. But relative strength also was there too, because NASDAQ didn't go above Sunday's high like the others did. So I trusted relative strength, but the dollar also happened to be in alignment. That's just icing on the cake. I mean, we already had the cake, the layers, the frosting. The dollar was just kind of like the sprinkles and the ice cream. You know what I mean? So more confluence. I mean, it was good to have, but not necessary. Otherwise, if I had trusted that enough, then I would have pulled up charts like this and I would have put NASDAQ on one side, dollar index next to it, and then I would have recorded both. Okay. So there's that little imbalance there. So again, I want to see if we trade into this and then off of that up above these highs. If not, then I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I would expect that imbalance here is likely to send us above this. And if it doesn't, then I guess it doesn't. So what I wouldn't want to see is us leave these highs here, leave this high here, and then come down for the lows that I want. So that would not be good. That would end up either maybe continue going lower or a possibility to reverse and then come back higher into the afternoon to take these. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not telling you to long this imbalance. I'm really not telling you to press any buttons at all. I'm just trying to give you my thought process. So again, the S&P has not traded above that high, but the Dow has. So if we break down from here, if we end up just massively trading lower, then this may end up becoming a mitigation play for the Dow. And the S&P would just leave this here and run this low, run these lows. So yeah, that 5-minute imbalance did not hold at all. I mean, we traded right through that. So if we had long that with a stop at this low, I wouldn't hold that. I'd take a half loss on that and just chalk that up as a got it wrong. Okay, it's only Monday. We got the rest of the week. But anyways, I think, so what do we do? I told you about the video that comes out in a few hours, the book review for John Maxwell's latest book, 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. We did our giveaway. And I think that's it. I don't think there's any other announcements that I had for you guys. Oh, well, okay. I mean, I guess I'll talk about it since we're here. The I told you guys last week or the week prior that I got a ice bath. I ordered one, so that came in, and I did that on Saturday, which was really cool. And I put it in 2 bags of ice and then like 6 ice cube trays as it was filling up. And by the time it filled up, the ice was gone. The ice had melted. I went, well, damn. I didn't think that would melt that fast. So as soon as the ice was gone, I wasted no time. I was like, all right, this is going to be cold, but it's just not going to be ice cold. So I hopped in. It was anywhere from like 3 to 6 minutes. Anywhere from 3 to 6 minutes. And it was awesome. I felt really great. It was easier than I expected. But part of me believes because that's, you know, because I wanted to do it. I wasn't like pressured or, you know, anything like that. So that was great. But next time, I got to use a lot more ice because, again, I didn't think it would take that much. Dude, I had 2 bags, right? 2 like bags, stuffed them both in there, and then ice cube trays that are about this big, 6 of them, dumped all that in there too, and it still melted like fast. I'm like, bro, wasn't even hot outside. So I goofed up the chemistry there. I'm no Walter White, so next time, more ice. And if you guys have ever taken a cold plunge before, let me know in the chat if you have. Let me know. Why couldn't you just use your bathtub? Because the bathtub, dude, you know, that's what you stand on, you know? And it's just not what you want to soak your body in. Bunch of water from the bottom of your bathtub, you know? Plus, the portable tub can be outside. So I can just get out and dry off without getting water all over the floor. And being outside, you connect with nature, get some fresh air, get some sunlight potentially. Mine was in the shade, you know, given where the location of the sun was at, and my house, you know, was in the shade. So, but that's why. That's why. Nick has done a cold plunge. Cryotherapy? Is that what that is? Like you cry because it's that cold, or how does that work? How does that work, Ali? School me. I'm no Meredith Grey, okay? I'm no fucking doctor, chemist, or anything. Look, I don't have a degree in shit. Okay, I have a degree in life. Do you know what I mean? That's it. Cryo means cold. Cryo means I'm gonna cry because it's super cold, man. Super cold on your lower back, you know? It's just like, start shivering, you know? Dude, that's why sometimes, man, like I've been to the dentist and I've been, you know, to doctor's offices and stuff, man. I get really nervous when the doctor's like a really beautiful woman, you know? I'm like, oh God, you know, because it's embarrassing, right? It's embarrassing. It's like, damn, this lady's really cute, but she's looking at my nasty ass teeth, you know? You know what I mean? It's like, can I get a different doctor, please? Like, come on, this is crazy. You know, she's asking me my medical history. I'm trying to ask her to dinner. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? What are we doing? I'm just kidding. You can't do no shit like that. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What's good, Sebastian? I've done cold showers, but not the plunge. You know, I'll be honest. The cold shower for me was harder than what I did the other day. When I did the shower, I didn't want to like turn around. So like one day I did the front side, and a couple days after that I did the back side. But like when I did it, I didn't want to like turn around to get the other side cold. I was like bitching out. I'm like, oh, this is too cold. This is too cold. 30 seconds and I fucking slammed that water off, dude. I slammed that water off so fast it I'm surprised it didn't break the faucet. You know what I mean? And I stepped out of that shower so fast. And for whatever reason, that towel was the warmest thing ever. It's like it was came out of a brick oven, like a pizza. You know, I put that towel on and I was like, phew, yeesh. So I don't know why. I don't know why it was harder. Maybe because I showered with hot water for 30 minutes and then did the cold plunge. That's probably why it felt colder. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. Oh my God, S&P, can we do something? Do something here. But you know what though? If we do end up rallying higher, I wouldn't be surprised if the NASDAQ did trade into that. So again, we're patient. We're going to wait and see for what we do. For what we do. You know what I ought to do next time? Next time for the giveaway, I ought to make you guys be here. I ought to make you be here. Like, oh, you won the giveaway, but you weren't here, so you don't get it. I'm not gonna do that to you, but I should. I should do that. So yeah, definitely slightly mixed again for the indices. And I want to look at the euro real quick too. We've got alerts there, so we're not going to miss anything. I did call out this for the team earlier. I did say 1.0927, I think it was. Oh, 26. Okay. There are 1 hour highs for the euro. Again, 109.26. And if you do look at a slightly higher time frame, the lows that we talked about last week that I wanted for that €1 short, we never got it until later on Sunday of all days. That's great. And I told you guys, like, sometimes my timing is off. You know, I can be right a lot, but sometimes I'm right on the price but wrong on the timing. So that hitting on a Sunday is just ridiculous. But when we came down for that on Sunday, we left these highs up here. And if you go to the daily, that's what that gray box is. Okay, it's just an imbalance on the daily right there. So the pink line is those lows. Gray box is the imbalance. So look at today's candle, right? We came into that and then off of that, and I don't know what time I sent the idea. I mean, whatever time I got out of bed and looked at it. So it's just unfortunate. We really haven't had all that much of a retracement lower. We just been rocketing higher, and that's it. So again, upside for the euro of 109.26, and we'll put an alert there too for those of you that are keeping up with that. I'll take that off of there. We'll leave that, and we'll be good. We'll be good. Still haven't done much for the S&P. is nitrogen tanks that are used to get you to sub-zero temperatures. Yeesh. In this giant tank, you have to wear socks and gloves or it freezes you. Oh, Jesus. Supposed to be really good for your body and mind and help regulate your dopamine levels. Dude, after I did that plunge, dude, I was productive as fuck. Yesterday too. I did so much shit yesterday. Well, dude, John Maxwell's book is 300 pages, just under 300 pages, right? That came out less than a week ago. I've already finished it and took notes on it. So not just read, but read and notes, like, dude. And I did like 5 or 6 loads of laundry, got my hair cut and my beard trimmed, rearranged my closet, cleaned my room up a little bit. I mean, to an extent. I mean, you know, doesn't stay perfect for long. As soon as I have a clean room, I'll fucking grab a drink, and then boom, as soon as that's done, that's trash is already in there, you know. I'm one of those water bottle, 5-6 water bottles, you know, around the desk and stuff. So I'm one of those people. You can judge me all you want. I really don't give a shit. But you know, the sparkling ice and whatnot, you know, there's some of those here. It is what it is. But I got a lot of stuff done the other day, Saturday and Sunday, and then today was productive as well. I actually had a real breakfast before lunchtime. Oh my god, I haven't done that in a while. I made eggs, and I made a egg sandwich actually too. So produced the YouTube video you guys are going to be able to see here in a couple of hours, that as well, and recorded the reel and posted that to Instagram. You know what I mean? Got a bunch of shit done before 11 o'clock today. So we're on it, man. We are on it. And it all came from, or started at least, the productivity started after the cold plunge from Saturday. So there's a girl I used to go to college with, and she's really into fitness. She's been into fitness like the last 3 years or so, like huge transformation the last 3 years. And I had hit her up and told her that I got the cold plunge and everything, and I put her on to new flavors of Rain as well. I put her on to the white gummy bear Rain, greatest flavor. And she put me on, I think, Tropical Storm, which I never saw until the other day. So I picked up a couple of those as well. And anyway, where I'm going with this is that's what I told her too. And another friend of mine, I told them, like, even though the cold plunge wasn't ice cold, it's still like a discipline thing. Right? I think I told you guys that last week, or on one of the streams I did last week. I had said that it's about discipline, right? So if you can't do something as simple as being uncomfortable for 5 minutes, you know, then you're going to struggle with a lot of other shit, like wanting to read or work out or eat right or whatever it is that you want. You know, if you can do things that most people don't want to do or most people refuse to do, then you're already starting, you know, you're starting off very well. So if you do the cold plunge early in the morning or even early in the week, then you're going to start the week off better than usual. You're going to start the week off how you want it to. So you're setting yourself up for a really good week. And then what do? We came in here this morning looking at that NASDAQ, right? I know I keep coming back to that. But, you know, we came in there, saw that, and it ran. It sprinted lower. You know what I mean? It's like we're alert. We've got our ideas. It's a new month. It's Q2. Like, come on, man. Come on. All right, this is booty. This is booty. If the Dow, I hate looking at the Dow, to be honest. It always does weird shit, like these little gaps and stuff. I despise that, but you know, Dow's gonna be what it's gonna be. It has so far respected this imbalance. It has, you know, not been able to push past that. The 15 minutes looks like complete nonsense. So what I'm saying is the same thing I told you earlier. If we end up trading higher for the Dow and the S&P doesn't do that, if we end up leaving that there for the S&P, okay, then I'm thinking if we break that lower, like if we just wreck that low, what I'm saying is that could end up being a potential mitigation there. And then within that, there's a small gap there too. So kind of similar to what we were looking at on Friday, even though we never got it, right? We were looking for, I think, the NASDAQ to run lower and then potentially mitigate into the afternoon, but we never got that, right? So I'm not saying that we might get that now. I'm just saying, like, given that we have a higher high here on the Dow, but we don't have that on the S&P, there's a possibility we could leave these highs here, leave this shitty high here, and then just run lower. And that's it. That's gonna be a wrap. So, oh, no more gap. No more gap. So let me see. I don't want this to be one of those afternoons where prices doesn't do shit, but it might be, because we're coming off some pretty nice updates from last week. But those lows are too clean at 41.27. They're too clean. Too clean. David asked, what's a mitigation? How do I identify it? Well, the quick and dirty is really easy. It's a high, low, higher high. And if price trades through that low and trades back up into those two up candles to go lower. Okay? That's, to me, that's how I look at it. Some people call it other shit. It doesn't matter what you call it. That's just what I call it. Okay, high, low, higher high, strong lower low. I'm looking for the down candles to be able to send price lower. Okay, or resistance, as most people would look at it. Okay, that to me is what a mitigation is. And someone else had asked, someone else on Instagram sent me their charts and they asked if it was a mitigation, and I said it wasn't, because that's what I look for. Okay, at least my version. Okay, but you know, everybody has different names for everything, so it just all depends on what you want to call it. I mean, you could call it a fucking bamboozle setup, you know, like, oh, we got a bamboozle short, like, go for it. A bam candle, bamboozle candle. I mean, you know, I've seen some crazy shit, man. Like Choach, I don't know who started that shit. Just a break of structure. Wanted to, you know, make it change of character, which I don't understand. And again, I don't know who created that or who invented that, but that shit has not been around for that long. So that's easily no more than 2 years old, if that. You know, I saw that for the first time. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, here's my honest opinion. And again, I'm not trying to sound like an asshole. I'm not. But when I see Choach on your chart, I think you don't know shit. I'll be honest. And again, I know that sounds really bad. Oh, John, that you're an asshole for that. That's just my automatic assumption. I mean, that shows me that you haven't been around that long, because you wouldn't just use Choach if you knew break of structure. It just doesn't, I don't get that, you know? Or maybe that's just something that I lack in my understanding. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I've always just done break of structure, and then someone used Choach. I'm like, what the fuck? what is that? You know what I mean? And I've seen 30, 40 people try and, you know, use that. Choach is just break of structure, or it's just another name for break of structure, or it's the first break of structure. Like, well, fuck, man, if it's a break of structure, why not call it a break of structure, bro? I don't get that. Makes no sense to me, bro. Help me out here. Help me understand this shit. That's all I'm saying. If you look, I give you guys answers. If you've got answers for me, I'm willing to listen, man. I'm a student always. I just want someone to explain the fuckery to me. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Oh man. Look at this S&P. Look at this S&P. Man, watch. It's gonna not want to trade above that high, leave those equal highs, and then just run this low, and then that's a wrap. Remember last week we shorted, and I told you it was hard for me to say, but we had to stop at equal highs, right? Like, that's a reason that I'm not looking to short. I'm just not looking to short. I could barely even get that out. A stop at equal highs. Ugh. You know? And that's always a possibility, because they could leave those here and then run that down here. But, you know, there's a small gap right there between those two candle bodies. I'm not doing anything with that, but that is right there. Because again, that's one of my rules of thumb. For those of you that just hopped on here, that haven't been here all that long, that's one of my things. I do not short the market when there is equal highs. And even on small time frame, that's fine, because technically this is a lower high. I get that. But even if like 1 minute equal highs, I'm not going to short. I'm just not going to do it. It's just one of my things. We don't have our time windows up here for Dow either. Told you I need an indicator to do this for me. And I'll still do it, but it would just be a lot easier if we had an indicator for that. But yeah, we've got our alert set. Now we just wait. And if there is no setup, we do nothing. Or at least I do not. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I'm not going to do anything if there's no setup. I am Imran. I mean, I don't even know how you say that. You used to do that and made my charts really ugly. Are you talking about the Choach, or are you talking about something else? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? You know what's interesting is that, as a matter of fact, now that I think about it, the 3 giveaway winners, I don't think are even here on the stream. So hopefully they watch it. I'll have to announce something on my Instagram story. I'll have to go announce something. Because I don't expect you guys to come back and then watch like a 2-hour stream. You know? Because it's no longer like a live stream. Now it's just what we're doing now, but in, you know, after prices already panned out, because it'll be history at that point. But yeah, that is another thing too. These long acronyms, they dirty up the chart. You just don't want that. Who wants a dirty chart, man? Who wants a dirty chart? Look, I could say something else, but I'm not going to. Just keep your charts clean. Keep yourself clean. Okay. And leave it at that. And leave it at that. So, and the reason I'm flopping back and forth, I mean, I don't really need to. I obviously have this chart over here, but I at least want you guys to be able to kind of see or have an idea on like what I'm looking at. So that lower low here on the S&P right here, like how the S&P kind of dipped lower below that low, Dow did not do the same thing. The Dow is actually higher. So I'm thinking could just be a short-term run on stops. A small range within a larger range, which is where my accuracy usually does not, you know, it's not always the best. Small ranges inside of a larger range is not usually my sniper entry there. That's usually where you get drawdown or losses. So I'd rather wait for an extreme, and that's kind of what I mean. That's why I want this high up here taken to then go lower, because to me that's kind of like more of an extreme, right? And ES as well. ES has equal lows down in there at 41.22. I got this, my microphone thing is all in the way. Can't see. Can you guys see that? Oh yeah, you can. Right there. So there's beautiful equal lows for ES. And so again, that's why to me up here just seems more likely for us to get there, right? Like up there and then bam, slam that shit. That's what I think is likely. Right, so not just those lows, but those lows down in there too at 41.22. So to me, it's like, okay, well, we came up, NASDAQ couldn't do so, so that signifies potential distribution on the S&P. Anyone who was short this morning, who got in on that, they're blessed, right? But if they're holding on too long, if they take their stop from wherever it's at, they drag it down to this high, they're going, yeah, I want this to go lower, but I'm praying it doesn't come up here and take my stop. You know, that to me is what signifies that we should do that. We should come up there, take your stop, and then roll over and roll downhill like Jack and Jill. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So hopefully there's some logic for you there. And then just very similar story, but for ES. So, I mean, for micros, excuse me. I mean, we could trade ES, but this is, if we're going to do a paper account, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter because it's going to be the price action either way. So, you know, you do what you got to do. So, there's that. Okay. I have one for the times. It's called Asian Range and Kill Zones by RJG Trader. You can change everything you like, and it's only a line. It's really clean if you customize. Oh, okay. Thank you for that, Nick. I might look into it. I mean, I know that there are timing sessions like that. I guess I just haven't really looked at one and then, you know, tailored it to the indices, like for the morning, lunch, afternoon, final hour, you know, stuff like that, which I could do. And I guess if I find it and then get it set up, I'll probably share it with you guys. And then that way you can have something similar. And it'll probably be like this with the very faint gray lines, so it doesn't take away, you know what I mean? Like, we want the shit light and not taking our attention away. So what we'll do is we'll keep that alert at 41.27, and then we'll just add another alert at 41.22 if we end up really getting a rip ass lower. I mean, it's only like a 5-point difference between those two anyway, which, I mean, if it's bearish, then an extra 5 points there is not going to seem like a lot. Okay. So again, we shall wait and see. But hasn't been too much volatility. And this is what I mean by volatility. Look at this big move here, big move lower, right? But look at the last almost 2 hours. We've had very little movement. Very little movement. It's been very uneventful. And sometimes that makes for uneventful streams too. But I can't help that. What do you want me to do about that? I don't make the markets move. And if I did, I wouldn't be on YouTube showing you, hey guys, I'm fixing to move it. You want to get in before I move it? You know? So. But yeah, that would be the signature move, consolidation, and take both sides. Yep. Well, that's kind of what we did Sunday, right? So we consolidated, ran up. So to me, it's like, okay, we break down, rally, and then bam. Trade below the consolidation, which is ultimately those lows, which is the equal lows on the ES, which would also indicate that the micros would trade lower as well. The only time I've seen the micros and the E-mini do something different is right at news. Or every once in a while, you'll get some shit like this, where the micro may run lower by a tick, 2 ticks, where the ES doesn't. You know, like 1 or 2 tick differences. That's like the max I've seen. Unless you're in FOMC or some type of high volatility, I've seen micros run stops and ES not. And that, to me, when I saw that the first time, like, that shit threw me off. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't get that. But then I really thought about it, and they're different assets, literally different symbols and everything. So you can even see a subtle difference right now, because they change, but they don't change at the same time, right? This one, you know, there's always like a quarter point or like 1 tick, maybe 2 tick difference here and there. So they are very similar, just not identical. Okay. And when they are not identical, they only separate by very few ticks or points. Make sense? But yeah, those lows on S&P look juicy. And the NASDAQ is already weak, so that's just probably going to keep trading lower. Like, it doesn't even have lows. Like, what lows, bro? It's probably just going to keep melting. Like the ice did in my pool the other day. It just melted. Thankful. Okay. Okay. Anyways, we did look at Euro. We talked about 109.26 as a potential upside. And we've already talked about the indices and what I expect for this afternoon. And that's it. So the latest I'll be here is probably another 45 minutes. Probably another 45 minutes. And then that'll be a wrap for today. And then don't forget, in 2 hours and 15 minutes, you'll be able to see the review for John Maxwell's latest book. I think it's only like 8 minutes long. I submitted it to the Amazon as well. I submitted it to them. So hopefully that gets put on the Amazon page. That would be cool. It'll be up there forever. I had the #1 comment on one of Paula Webb's books. I think it's still there. I think it's still there. Let me look that up real quick, since we're here. It was one of the... I think it was The discipline trader. Let me look. Oh no, it wasn't. There's a different one. Well, damn. Which one was it? Oh, the complete trader. That sounds right. That sounds right. Oh, look at that. #1 comment, baby. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this up. Look at this. Look at this. The complete trader. The definitive guide to mastering the psychology of market behavior. Look at this. We scroll down. Bam. Who's right there? Top comment or review. Top review, baby. John Feb. Look at that shit. 12 people found that helpful. Look at that. We out here doing numbers, baby. We out here doing numbers. And then look at this punk ass 2-star. Oh well, top review. Look at that shit. So anyway, hopefully they do. Hopefully I get top review on his book. That'd be really cool. There's only 2 reviews right now for his book, which I'm a little bit surprised because it's been out for 6 days. So I'm only surprised there's only been 2 reviews. But hopefully that video review, they said it would take a couple days for them to get. I guess they got to watch it and approve it. And it's the same thing on YouTube, only I didn't include, like, you know, like and subscribe on Amazon, you know. So we'll see. But that'll be really, I'll be really excited because I really enjoy John Maxwell's work and I want people to know. And I trust video reviews more than I do like regular reviews. You know, like no profile picture, 1 or 2 sentences. Like, bro, you half-assed that review. You came on, said like 1 or 2 things, and I've done that a lot too. But and that's how I know, because I've done it. You know, give me like a full review, bro. There was a person, you know, I've seen people, they'll take the product and they'll make a video of it, you know, and it's like, oh, this is what it does. Here's like a size reference and all that. I'm like, see, that's cool. That's what a review should be. And so for me, that's what I want to have for John's book and other stuff too. But it takes a while. I mean, dude, it took me like 30 minutes to edit that shit. It took me 10 minutes to shoot and like 45 minutes to edit. And that's okay. So hopefully John sees it. That'll be cool. Hopefully that'll be cool. I gotta meet John one day, dude. I gotta meet him. He's like 75 years old. And I gotta meet him. I have to. I met, not that I wanted to, like, no disrespect, but it was E.T., Eric Thomas, the hip-hop preacher. He came to an event one time in Dallas and he spoke, and I like him as a speaker. He's very motivational. And right after he was done, he had exited the stage and there was these tables around the stage, you know, for like VIP tickets and stuff. And I was at one of the VIP tables, but just not the one near the stage. And so he was walking around giving everyone handshakes. And so I saw an opening and I was like, all right, yeah. So I went over there and he came by, I shook his hand. So he shook my hand, he looked me in the eye and he was like, he said something. He was like, thanks for coming, or, you know, some shit. I don't know. It was cool. I got to meet the guy. I didn't expect it until he started doing it. And I was like, oh, I got to meet him. And that was cool. I'll probably remember that for forever. You know, it's like, oh yeah, E.T., I met that guy. Didn't have a conversation with him, but I just met him. But like John, I would really want to meet him. You know, shake his hand, maybe ask him a question or two. So I relate to John in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways. So you know what, Allie? It's funny because when I wrote my first book, I started to write a second one, and I called Paula Webb's website, didn't thinking that I would call her, but I did end up calling her. And dude, we spoke for like 45 minutes. One of the greatest conversations I ever had. Ever. You know, she told me about Mark and how he played video games and stuff. I mean, hell, she even sounded like Mark Douglas, like her accent and everything. I was like, holy shit, like you literally sound. I didn't tell her that, but I was like, dude, like I could have sworn Mark was just talking to me, you know. But anyway, yeah, she was telling all kind of shit, and she was giving me advice on, you know, my book and other stuff, you know, to get it copyrighted and all that shit. And yeah, we spoke on the phone for like 45 minutes, but that was one thing I did ask her. I'm like, I don't mind buying Kindle, you know, because it's y'all. Well, it's her, but you know, why don't you have a paper copy? And she was like, well, you know, I'm gonna have a paper copy one day, but she wanted to make a certain amount of money first. I mean, she didn't tell me how much it was, but she was like, I want to make a certain amount from Kindle before I make it on paper. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, it's not a big deal. But now that I'm looking at it, I bought that book in July of 2020. I mean, bro, it's April of 2023. So this was almost 3 years ago. This was almost 3 years ago, and we still don't have a paper copy. What's up with that? What's up with that? That I think is the only thing that is a turnoff about some of those books. Is it's a $50 book, man. It's a $50 book. Should it still be $50 after 3 years? I don't think it should be. I think that could easily go down to 30, maybe like $29.99 or something. But it's not mine to reprice. You know, I think I lowered the cost of my book by like $2, I think. So at a certain point, I may have to decrease the price for mine as well. But you know, who knows, man? Who knows? Nestor met John C. a long time ago at an Amway event in Vegas, very briefly, no conversation. I mean, it's still cool you got to meet him though. Is he tall? I feel like he's tall. I only see him, you know, on stage or whatever, but I feel like he's tall. I don't know. Have you read The Creature from Jekyll Island by D. Edward Griffin? It was recommended to me in a podcast just before you stream. No, I haven't, but I've heard good things about it. What would you want to ask John? I don't know. I'd probably be starstruck for a minute. She's $700 an hour for a consultation? Christ. Dude. At the time of the lockdowns, $700 an hour doesn't make sense because at the time, she was charging, I think, $3,000 or $5,000 for a weekend for 5 people. Okay? So think about that. 5 people for a 2-day weekend. So I'm thinking Saturday and Sunday. And so, dude, that's only $1,000 a person for 2 days. So $700 an hour, dude. You ought to be a lawyer, man. But you know what though? You know why I think she's $700 an hour? Because she probably coaches traders that have big ass money. Big fucking money. Like shit that'll make your funded account look like pennies. You know what I mean? Like people that probably manage 50, 100 million, you know, 20 million, shit like that. That's probably who she can get away with charging $700 an hour for. Because that to them is nothing. You know, they take like one trade and fucking make 5-10 grand, and like it's nothing. Like a 5-10 grand is a fucking break even for them, you know. And then it's like, oh, okay, $700 an hour, whatever, blah blah blah. But a lot of the students that I have met, there would be no way they would pay that much. Shit, if anything, they'd probably be like, well, how about 15 minutes? You know what I mean? Like, how about 10 minutes? Shit, I wouldn't even charge $700 an hour. Not that I would ever go back to teaching one-on-one again. I don't want to. I wouldn't want to. So the Dow's back in that imbalance, and then obviously all this would we would no longer look at that as a potential mitigation. I still want to keep that low there though. But yeah, the Dow's still drifting higher, the S&P drifting lower. Like what is the afternoon price action, bro? What is this horrendousness? Watch, it's going to be one of those days where I'm going to tell you just wait for the last hour, and that's where we're going to get a bunch of volatility and have a stream of nothing, because we've done nothing all day. Sorry, I don't make the rules, man. I don't make the rules. But I didn't even know she charged that much until you said something. Shit, I talked to her for 45 minutes for free. I didn't ask her for advice or anything, but you know, we were chilling, having a good time. She's like, oh yeah, call back anytime. She's like, I'm always here. I'm like, shit, okay. But yeah, Huston S, since you're here, I don't know if you were here for the giveaway, but you won the leather journal. So hit me up on Instagram, prove that it's you, and let me know where to send it. Let me know where to send it. And just so you know, since we're all here, I will never ever sell your information. The emails that I have, you know, for the email list, I will never sell that. If you give me an address, you know, to send the giveaway stuff, that'll be in my Amazon history, so I'll have it, but I will never sell that shit. That I can get in a lot of trouble, but you know, I will never give that information away. The only thing I do with the address of the people that I have on file, the only thing I do is I might send a Christmas card at Christmas. That's it. But any other reason, I will never sell your shit. Okay. And I think it was this one. You know what? This one has more reviews. I'll probably go with this one. So yeah. Damn, I got too many tabs open. Too much shit going on. So yeah, just do that hopefully today. So that way I don't have to worry about it. Oh, silver's down. Really? Silver's been on an absolute tear since 20. Beautiful. Beautiful shit for silver. Same with gold. Gold's been on a tear really since November. Yep, bottoming out at the end of the year, rallying into the new year. Wonder where you've heard that before. Wondering where you heard that. Nice background music today. I think it's the same from last time. It's the copyright-free EDM music for Twitch and YouTube, straight from Spotify. Straight from Spotify. I can barely hear it because I've got the music low. But I mean, I don't really listen to EDM music like that, and when I do, it's maybe for like 2 or 3 songs, and I gotta listen to something else. I like electronic music, but I don't know. Something about EDM is just kind of too mainstream. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I'm very picky. Okay, so for the S&P, let's see if we can finally get this run on that high. Please, let's do something. I don't care, even if I'm wrong. At least let me be wrong in something that's like one directional. Give me some volatility here, please. I want to see something happen. Been bored out of my mind watching this shit. Been bored, man. I could have been doing plenty of other things. Not really. I mean, I would have been here in either way. But I probably would have been, I don't know, designing something or reading maybe. I don't know. I think I'm out of snacks. I think I need to go to the store and get some snacks. I have drinks, but I don't have snacks. That's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. That is a problem. That's a problem. All right. So we'll do the 5-minute over here because that is what we were watching for a while. We'll just leave that there, and then we'll take a look at the 1 minute. See what that does. So I'm thinking. Oh, that looks kind of like doo-doo, but this potential run-on stops because remember the Dow was higher while the S&P was lower. We've rallied, we've retraced, and we've rallied. So I'm assuming any retracement is just going to send this higher. So I'm assuming we may, if we do retrace, we've got these 3 down candles here. So we may trade into that and then end up getting sent to the 41, 43, 44 price level. But that's kind of where my mind's at today. Just do something, you know. What kind of snacks? Let me see. I get these a lot. Triscuit. They will leave your mouth very dry. I mean, you'll get cotton mouth eating like 2 of these, but I don't think they're nearly as bad as like Doritos and Cheetos and stuff. So I'll get Triscuit, or sometimes I'll get crackers, but crackers can actually be pretty bad for you in terms of like salt and how much fat it has in it. But the Triscuits are okay. And it makes me, since Triscuit's very dry, it makes me drink more water too. So that's, you know, there's a little bit of finesse there. But I try to be not as bad as I used to be. I mean, dude, I would look. I mean, I would bang a bag of Doritos and nachos with cheese. I mean, it was bad, dude. And I just don't want to like be that way. The Quest protein cheese chips. I've seen protein chips, but dude, it's like $3 for like a little bag. I'm like, man, I'm about to drop like $20 a day eating that shit. Charles has been on a bacon jerky. Interesting. In the Navy, I had a lot of turkey jerky as well as beef jerky. But that'll run you a pretty fat bag too. Beef jerky's expensive. Anything jerky related is super expensive. I mean, we're talking like $12 for like a decent sized bag, you know? I'm like, dude, I need like 2 of those a day. And in the Navy, you really don't get paid all that much. So $12 a bag for me now is okay, but $12 in 2015, 2016, or no, yeah, 2014, 2015 was like, oh my God, what are we doing? You know, what are we doing? Chili lime is good too. Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen those at Walmart. I know what you're talking about. The protein chips, which looks very interesting. And I'm sure they probably taste good. It was like $2.99 a bag. I'm going, oh my God. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, man. You know, I might have a little bit of money, but you know, sometimes I can still be cheap. Okay? Just so you know. But John, you're fucking buying bricks of silver, but you don't want to buy a $3 bag of chips. What do you want me to tell you, man? What do you want to hear from me? I don't know what you want me to say. I am who I am, damn it. So again, if you hopped on late, I want to see this high wrecked. I want to see it. I want to see it get wrecked. There's this lack of wick up here too, like right there. 41, 43 and a half. So that could be a target. So yeah, that is the question. Do those 3 down candles support price to send us higher? That is the question. Even though I'm overall bearish. Short term, somewhat bullish. What do you guys think? You guys rocking with it? Or you guys think something different? We're on a paper account, right? $38.5 to $35.5. What are we saying? 35. Not really a good risk reward day either. But if I was scalping here, that would be something I would want to look for. But it doesn't look that way. Because it's literally going to these highs right here. So we may not end up getting a retracement. It may just fucking jam up there. Yep, there's that. Okay, so there's that short-term high. Let's see if we can get 43.5. Let's just see if we get that lack of wick. Let's see if we get that. And then let me check the fucking... Oh my goodness. Yeah, the Dow is actually nearing the imbalance on a... Is that a 15? What are we doing there? Is actually nearing the 5-minute imbalance from this morning as well. Like the higher end one. And the NASDAQ, ooh, just a bunch of lows right there. That does not look good. All right, well, we're definitely going to take that off of here. Because I wouldn't look at that as wanting to support price anymore. Because we've already taken those highs and this high. So remember what we talked about earlier. Remember what we talked about. Anyone who was short from this morning, right, heading into the afternoon, where's their stop going to be? Above that high. Boom. That was ran. Okay. Now, again, I didn't outline a long in here. I mean, dude, I looked at this and no. For me personally, no. It looks nasty. But we analyzed that this was a stop run, right? Because Dow was unable to do that. Dow traded higher while the S&P was lower. So we identified that as a stop run. Boom. Ran stops here to run stops up there. If anything, the only thing, I mean, this is hindsight, obviously. The only thing, again, in hindsight, is that after this ran, we came off of it and then dropped down into these down candles here. If anything, I mean, like right there. Okay. That would have been okay in hindsight, but that's strictly hindsight. I was not looking along that. But for studying purposes, you do have that right there. So that would have been okay for 5, maybe 6 points on that. So, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Ali, that 15-minute candle. So we'll see if Dow ends up doing that. Oh, look at that. There's 43.5 for the S&P. So there's that little lack of wick right there. So if it was me, if I really believed that this was a reversal, I would short that here. I would short that here. If that, like that would probably be my stop. 49, yeah, that's less than 10. And then I would short that here with a target of those lows, both of these lows, if I happen to be bearish. Does that make sense? So let's look at the NASDAQ real quick. We talked about this earlier too. This imbalance and then this short-term high right here. I said I wouldn't be surprised if we traded into that today. Same idea. Anyone who was short this morning, short-term high, continuation. It doesn't make a lower low. So if traders are short up here, their stop is likely right here. So for the NASDAQ, I think the NASDAQ, that may be a decent spot to look for shorts if we happen to be bearish. Make sense? And what I said a minute ago about all those lows right here, like that's what I'm talking about. All those lows right there. It just doesn't look like a very strong low, I guess. So watch for that. Watch this high. Again, to see. And that's the 5. This is the 5 as well. LOL. This is the 15. Indices rallying a little bit, and the dollar sliding lower. Which is also in alignment because we outlined a potentially higher euro earlier, 109.26. So if the euro is going higher, the dollar is going lower. That dollar going lower is can also contribute to higher indices. Okay. So again, there's that. Trading further into that imbalance. In the Dow, I think this, Ali, I think this is what you were talking about. And what I said earlier, that higher, that like the higher end one is what I was saying, this one up here. And that low that we looked at here, that was never swept, right? Where the S&P did. So note that as well. So now we're into that higher one up here. The S&P, again, I mean, that was only 30 seconds ago I showed you this, but you know, we're back up into that. And then there's that high on NASDAQ, kind of briefly traded above that. So yeah, finally getting some decent movement somewhere. You know what I mean? Finally able to do something. Ooh. But Tiago, about oil, the gap is because OPEC decided to cut oil production. They cut oil production, something like 1 million barrels a day or 500,000 barrels a day or something. So less supply. Again, coming back to that conversation, real supply and demand. Okay, less supply, same demand equals higher pricing. Because there's less of something, but the demand has not changed. Why would demand change? People still got to drive to work. People still need fuel for their cars. Obviously, unless you drive a Tesla, yeah, I get that. But most people still drive diesel trucks and cars, and 18-wheelers, you know, need diesel and all that shit. So there's still going to be, you know, the demand. Over the weekend, the demand, I guess, for oil and gas would not really change. Not to the extent of where price would not do anything. So that's, to me, that's why oil hit the gap button. Because that decision was made over the weekend. It's almost like it's always over the weekend. I don't know. They always do shit like that when the market is closed. And the market is closed. I'd be interested to see where we end up for the rest of the day, because we are now at like a 618, I think. High, low. Oh, yeah, close. Close. But we wasted so much time in here. I mean, we wasted all that time in here. And now we're finally running that. So that may be problematic for wanting to see 41.27 and 41.22. Because remember last week, we talked about time stops, right? Like, oh, there's only, you know, we have, there's a difference between, all right, we have the full session. And then, all right, we only have half a session to, oh, we've only got an hour left. You know what I mean? So trying to demand big moves in a smaller amount of time is, to me, is just more difficult and it's less probable. So I wanted the run higher to go lower. And the only thing is now we got that run higher, but we took so long to do that. That to me, I think the probabilities for us repeating a move similar to this in the afternoon here, in that last hour, maybe like where we are now, I think the probabilities of getting that is lower because of it's 1:45 almost. There's only an hour and 15 minutes left. So because of that time constraint, I am less confident that we would get here today. We still could, but my confidence has dwindled because of the time constraint. Does that make sense? So this morning when I recorded the NASDAQ up in here, taking that low early in the morning, that would have been beautiful. And I might have held like a partial until the end of the day. So if I was in this still, I'd say, okay, well, good thing we got out on the way down. But now we've taken this short-term high. So as long as we don't come back to the entry, and that entry again on that reel is way up here. Okay, I mean, that was way up there. So like my stop would probably be, you know, maybe 5 points in the direction, because theoretically, if we are bearish, we should not trade anywhere near up there. So if I was still in this, I would say, okay, we may take stops here, but we would need some evidence pretty quickly, which means we're allowed to trade up into this, but we don't want to see that stay or continue higher. We want to see it drop pretty quickly and start running lower. Because if we don't get that, just like on Friday, then we're wrong about shorts. Okay. So we got the run on the high, and now it's up to how we respond. And so far, it doesn't look like it's giving the response of bearishness. It's giving the response of, we saw what John wanted, and we're going to do something different. So hopefully that makes sense. But Art, I'm doing good, man. How are you? How are you doing? Isn't that a mitigation though on NASDAQ? All right. Dude, I don't understand. I don't understand. Maybe on a 15-minute like this, maybe, but we've already traded into that once, and now we're trading above this short-term high. So like, I wouldn't look at this as a mitigation. I mean, it could be, but how it's trading right now, it doesn't look that way. It doesn't look that way. You guys can still hear me, right? I know I had to restart OBS and all that. Okay. I'm surprised. I don't understand what the stream does when I exit OBS. Like, what do you guys see? Like, I don't know. So again, Dow still up there. S&P, it may end up doing the same thing. May end up doing the same thing. So guess what? We may not be bearish after all. Maybe the morning time was it. Maybe that morning here, that was it. So guess I will probably walk away and not do anything. Probably won't do anything until the last hour may present opportunities, but as of right now, not really. Not really. I don't really see anything over here that's bearish, and we weren't really able to get long in here unless you got in early down in there, which again I wasn't looking for. But we saw those 3 down candles. We put an order there. It never went there. It went higher instead. So to me, I'm just gonna walk away. It's only Monday. We got literally the rest of the week. So, oh, it gives the spinning circle of death. Oh, that's weird. I guess because it disconnects, so it's like trying to reconnect. Maybe, I don't know. That is weird though, because what I do is I exit OBS. I stop the stream, I exit OBS, and then I upload OBS again, and then just press streaming again. Is it Chow? I think that's how you say that. I don't know. I think because I've seen probably enough Netflix. I don't know. But shout out to Australia. Shout out to the Aussies over there. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here. So y'all be blessed. We'll be here on Tuesday, tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST. We'll take a look at the markets, have some more conversations and all that. So again, congrats to the winners of the giveaway. Make sure you guys hit me up on Instagram, prove that it's you, and let me know where to send your giveaway. All right, thanks guys, and I will see you tomorrow.
Save